After years of waiting, finally, the Macho Man Randy Savage has found a place in WWE Hall of Fame. Robbie Mack, how you doing tonight?
Ooh, yeah, the Macho Man is going into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, brother. He's gonna go down to the casino, yeah, and he's got snake eyes. Yeah, the Macho Man. I'm doing good. Sorry.
Yeah, when you get snake eyes, you lose, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, congratulations to the late great Leaping Lanny Poffo, the Macho Man. Sorry, Randy Poffo.
Yeah, Lenny's the brother.
Yes, sorry, too excited. All the Poffo brothers are just blending in together. Yeah, no, that's awesome news, and I think it's an understatement to say this is long overdue, Kevin.
Yeah, very long overdue. It should have been like 10 years ago.
Oh God, yeah. My only regret is that they're not doing it while he's alive, because think how great that speech would be.
Yeah, but it was so sudden. They could not even have done it like the way they did with Ultimate Warrior last year and a couple of people years prior, even Scott Hall, because it was so sudden, and there was still a lot of bad blood brewing between the two camps. We're not going to go into details of why and all the rumors, and it can go really deep, and in the far-fetched corners of the internet, you can go look at all the crazy rumors. We're not going to talk about that. But it's been overdue. There was a bad blood between the McMahon and Randy Savage. I never got figured out over the years, but now it's all over, finally done. And I thought it was fitting, and probably the same for you, to start the show with that famous song. And just, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be Hulk Hogan who's going to introduce Randy Savage into the Hall of Fame, who's going to induct him. And unfortunately, he passed away, so it's going to be hard. And everybody surrounding him except Lanny Poffo is gone almost. Talk about the Luger. If you talk about, well, Luger's not passed away, but he's not in good shape. Is he alive? Yeah, he's alive.
Yeah, Lex Luger's alive. I've seen an interview with him not too long ago.
Yeah, but he's I think he's got cancer or something.
I don't know if he has any health problems. You're probably thinking of that because he has
lost like 200 pounds.
Yeah, he looks a lot thinner, but I think that's just from getting off steroids and whatnot, right?
So that just tells you how much Lex Luger is important for me. I just never checked his health issues, but it's so different. Like Miss Elizabeth is gone, so who else but Hulk Hogan to induct Mr. Randy Poffo into the Hall of Fame?
There really isn't nobody. I've seen some people saying that Ricky Steamboat maybe. Yeah, maybe Ricky Steamboat. They had their great match, but you can't really pinpoint a guy that was matched with Macho Man Randy Savage better than Hulk Hogan, and it's an awesome thing to see that Hulk Hogan wants to be a part of that too. And yeah, I mean,
it'll give him something to do during WrestleMania weekend, and that's just gonna put a place, and he's gonna get a check because he's gonna be there, so he's happy at the end too.
I'm sure he won't be disappointed at all. I mean, you brought up that he never came back and all the bad blood and whatnot. The thing, it must have been bad because you got to think about Vince McMahon hired Eric Bischoff. You know what I mean? And he didn't bring back the Macho Man Randy Savage. And once Macho Man left in '94, that was it. He never came back to WWE or WWF, and he wasn't even mentioned again until basically they announced him.
Well, there's a theory
for
that.
The thing I didn't like is...
Oh, sorry, Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. I was going to say the thing that kind of pissed me off was when I was scrolling down Facebook this morning on WWE's official Facebook page. It said, "Oh, Macho Man is rumored to be inducted in the Hall of Fame." How the fuck can you rumor something when you're the one who reports it? You know what I mean? It just kind of killed the element of surprise, which it kind of sucked.
It's gonna be a Macho Man announcement. What other thing could it be? What other announcement towards the Macho Man could it be if not into the Hall of Fame? That's the only one.
He's not wrestling at WrestleMania.
No. For goddamn not, he's not wrestling.
No.
So we're not going to talk about that today because we need to see it unravel before our eyes before we can comment the whole induction to the Hall of Fame. But it was announced today, so is Drew Carey. That's another thing we're never going to talk about, but he's going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame as well. So I know, right? You've replaced Bob Barker. Bob Barker is already there too, but at least Bob Barker deserved to be there.
The only celebrities I will make a case for that deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame is Pete Rose.
Yep.
Because he actually took bumps, and Mr. T. And to an extent, I'll say Donald Trump too, because he hosted WrestleMania 4 and 5.
For me, to be into the Hall of Fame, you have to step into the ropes,
Yeah,
but you have to do it physically. So, a Pete Rose works. He got a tombstone a couple times. That would
three
work.
times he got
Same for
three
Lawrence
times, and he
Taylor.
made
Yep.
three straight WrestleMania. Yeah,
But it's the same thing for Lawrence Taylor and all those guys who actually wrestled. They deserve to be into the Hall of Fame.
yep.
Tyson, yeah, he's went into the ring. He right hand, down goes Michaels, down goes Michaels. So he deserved to be there. So that's fine.
100%.
But yeah, we're not gonna dwell into this. And Drew Carey, he's gonna be there, but he's gonna be one of the forgotten ones. We're gonna remember probably Savage and one or two big names, but we'll know that later on. Today on the show, it is our first annual Royal Rumble prediction show, Rob.
Ooh, I like that first annual.
Yeah, well, Royal Rumble's once a year, and that's annual.
It's fair enough. I guess it's just not a name then. It literally is once a year. Yeah, I'm starting to get excited for the Royal Rumble season. We're definitely getting into the best time of year to be a wrestling fan.
Hopefully. And this year, I'm kind of not hopeful. I'm kind of scared to what I'm going to watch.
Yeah, I don't know what direction they're going in with, which I guess is kind of a good thing, but it's really a change. It feels like there's the winds of change are coming in. You kind of feel that new superstars are going to be established, which is great, which is what should be happening. But you also don't want them to fuck anything up, which WWE, let's face it, they're writers. They have a tendency to do.
They do. They do. All right. So, as a prediction, there's always big surprises into the Royal Rumble. There's always like an old timer showing up. There's always a new guy showing up. There's always something out of left field. So let's start by which new guy? Which is there going to be an NXT guy? Do you think? Or who, as a new guy or as a big surprise, do you think is going to be there for the new type of guy surprises?
I don't know who's going to make the surprise appearance from
Like
NXT.
a la Rusev last year. Like,
Yeah, it was Rusev last year, which kind of
and Bo
surprised
Dallas
me.
the year before.
And which kind of surprised me because I didn't think Rusev was really on the radar for a call up. So you want to see maybe someone like Adrian Neville, maybe someone like I don't think it'll be Sami Zayn because I think they'll want to protect him. Adrian Neville would probably Tyler Breeze would be kind of cool to see. Someone along those lines on someone who's kind of in the upper echelon of NXT, but not the champion. Someone like a Rusev, because when I watched Rusev in NXT, I never really thought much of him. And then obviously they booked him perfectly.
And they made a move from Bulgaria to Russia, and the whole thing changed.
Oh yeah, because if he just stayed as the Bulgarian brute, I think he would have just floundered in the mid card.
Who cares about Bulgaria? Sorry if there's any fans in Bulgaria of the show, but who cares about you?
Well, I wouldn't say we don't care about them. There's just no heat
with the US. Exactly, there's no heat.
With the U.S. and
Even me trying to be mean about Bulgaria, that did not fit. Like we're like, yeah, it just doesn't work.
Of course, we care about you. We care about everybody, Kevin.
Yeah, sure. Even John's. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe.
Okay,
not.
maybe not everybody, but we care about most people.
Yeah, so I'll go with my prediction. And
Okay.
2 years ago it was Bo Dallas. Last year was Rusev. This year, somebody from NXT who can make like a comeback. And it's going to be a name that's recently made a transition back to NXT. Curtis Axel is my prediction for a new guy that maybe the Rumble will be a start of something new for him. It's going to be a showcase. He hasn't been on TV in the main roster in a long, long time. And the Rumble right now, with the roster being so thin, they definitely need to put him in the Rumble. And that would be a great way to re-show him out of the blue in the Rumble.
Yeah, I think Curtis Axel is long overdue for I wouldn't say so much for a gimmick change. I do like the Kurt Hennig son thing.
I would go with Hennig as a last name. If you're going to bring up a rebranding for Curtis Axel, go with Curtis Hennig. Just call him Curtis Hennig. Have him wear a singlet like his dad, and have him pull not the exact same gimmick, maybe not over the top as arrogant of being perfect.
Yeah.
But saying that my bloodline is better than your bloodline, and that would get me over after the end of the day. Something similar in a different way. There's something you could do with him, and on top of that, he's a third-generation superstar as well, so they have to push that fact too.
Yeah, Kurt Hennig is Curtis Axel. He's not a bad wrestler,
right? Hennig would fit more. Even you just said it.
Yeah, And he's not a bad wrestler. So yeah, that might be interesting too. So I don't know if I would like. He might be like a filler pick because let's
Of
face it,
course.
they got to fill 30 guys.
But there's a way it's gonna happen probably. That's why I put it
Yeah,
in prediction. That's my safe prediction for the show.
I like it. Makes sense.
All right, now there's gonna be an old timer for sure.
Hmm.
Somebody that we haven't seen in a couple years, and somebody that cannot really wrestle, and they find a way to put him over the top rope safely. There's always one or two of those per Royal Rumble. We had a couple years ago. There was Honky Tonk Man. We have as well Roddy Piper and Hillbilly Jim. They all made a Royal Rumble appearance a couple years ago. Who is it going to be in your opinion this year, Rob?
That's tough, Kevin.
Out of the blue, and you can't say Honky Tonk Man because he did it a couple of years ago.
I know. Out of the blue, someone who's out of the blue. Um,
Like, think about a retired wrestler, maybe not too long ago, and maybe he could pull it off. I don't know. Guess one.
I'm trying to think who's been working and who's been I don't know, Scott Steiner.
That could happen. Big
Yeah,
Papa Pump comes out to us. That would be a huge pop for him.
yeah, and especially because
He's still in the indie scene. That could
yeah, that's what I
happen.
mean. So maybe just kind of right off the top of my head, I'm going to say Scott Steiner. Yeah, I like that because I think it. Remember, Kevin, the Rumble's in Philadelphia, so it's going to be a very smarky crowd, which they'll really placate to, right?
And because of that smarky crowd, one fellow that is right now in a very prominent role, not on the main roster, not on any roster, but he is the commissioner of NXT, Mr. William Steven Regal, might
Oh,
make an
yeah.
apparition as an old timer out of nowhere on there. And who knows? There's a good way to book an angle for future NXT viewers, and that could culminate into a great match into the next NXT special event. You have that one or two guy from NXT, example Curtis Axel and say Sami Zayn or Taylor Breeze or whatever. You had him there, and then you have Regal step into the Royal Rumble, eliminate them, create an angle, and then Regal just eliminate itself because he doesn't care. He just wanted to show those little guys who is really in power.
Yeah, and let's face it, William Regal can still work, right?
Yeah, at least he can take that bump. He can take one bump off the third rope, and that's all they need usually because you don't really need to wrestle in the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the fun of the Royal Rumble, because you do get those fun surprises. Um, like, I just hope they don't blow any like they did last year on oh, who was the retard who's that stupid fucking midget with Epico and Primo?
There was
Sorry,
Torito last year?
yeah, El Torito or
Yeah.
what was one of the entrances. So that's stupid.
Last
You
year
know,
was
but
Kevin Nash was the old timer per se,
yeah.
coming out with his NWO song. He did it as Diesel a couple years ago too.
Yeah, he did. He came back as Diesel. That was the one that he got a huge pop. That was the 40-man Rumble. So I think they had a couple surprises. I mean, didn't the Godfather come back the one year too? Wasn't that
Probably
last
too.
year?
When you have a 40-man rumble, you need to pull off surprises. That's why I'm even surprised this year it's going to be. Well, did they announce it's going to be 30 yet, or did
Yeah,
just
they
say,
did.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny. It's funny because at first the rumor was it's going to be another 40, and then I think I realized that we
There's
don't
not
have
enough
40
people.
guys.
There's not even barely enough for 30
Yeah, they exactly.
because
So,
you need to have other matches on the pay-per-view too.
hence why Scott Steiner and William Regal are going to be in it. So
It's hilarious. All right, and now for the biggest surprise of the show. Who's the star, or maybe former star, but really like in the roster right now, or just out for the last couple months? Do you think that's gonna come back in the Rumble? And I have a feeling we have
Well,
the same on that one.
well, Kevin, yeah, and we're obviously both going to say Randy Orton.
Yeah, he's been doing house shows, and
Yeah, he
live
has
events.
been.
So
Which I don't get is Seth Rollins curb stomped Dean Ambrose into a pile of cinder blocks, and Dean Ambrose is only out for a month. But
well, Dean Ambrose did not shoot a movie yet.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe this year. Next time he gets hot. Actually, I'm wrong. Dean Ambrose did shoot a movie this year.
Yeah, and he was only gone for a month. So
Yes.
Seth Rollins curb stomps Randy Orton into just the ring, and he's been gone for.
That proves the ring is hard.
Yeah, it must be hard.
Talk
The big
about hard
surprise-
work.
Let's face it, Kevin. The Royal Rumble is always a key spot to build your next guy.
And bring back a guy. Like, it's better to having a pop there. Well, because you
Yeah,
need a couple of pop, and it was easy to keep Orton for that pop.
yeah, and I think and I thought it was stupid they didn't bring him back right away, but I think they're doing the right thing with him. If you go back and look at other Royal Rumbles, if you want to go back to, I think, I want to say 94, the 94 Royal Rumble, where Diesel eliminated a bunch of people. The one year Kane did it, and then last year Roman Reigns did it. There's always that one guy who will stand out at the Royal Rumble, not win it, but he'll be like the guy who eliminates 6 or 7 guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's always, I don't know. I don't know if I can see anyone doing that.
I
this
know
year.
who it is. It's going to be Roman Reigns again. Because that'll go into my next prediction
Yeah.
that I'm going to say later on.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe Roman Reigns can just break the record he had last year, but going to get eliminated by somebody, and that somebody will be his program for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't think Roman Reigns is going to win the Rumble. And that, my friend, is a big prediction. That's bold.
Really? I would be.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because Daniel Bryan is back.
Kevin, I don't know, man.
They have to. And then you get Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, because I believe Brock Lesnar finds a way to keep that title. And then you get Brock Lesnar, the beast, the real A-lister, the real A-plus lister, used to be the baddest man on the fucking planet, against a D-lister goat-faced. And you can play that story all over again, but this time you have an actual threat to his life, as Brock Lesnar will look so big and huge against the little tiny Daniel Bryan.
I think you're right about Brock Lesnar retaining the title. I think it makes the most sense out of anybody. The only thing Kevin, I like that idea and I like that booking decision, but I think that the WWE is just attached too much to the Roman Reigns train. That
if you've seen this promo in SmackDown and last Monday on Raw, he's gonna fail if they go that way. So they need another year to protect him. They need like another year under his belt. He could pull it off next year.
You didn't like the faster than a speeding bullet promo?
Pew! What killed me? He made this sound after.
Oh,
if you have
God.
him like example, I'll do it. I'm a man. And I'll be faster than a speeding bullet. I can jump taller than a building, and I will get you next time. It's more believable than I'll be faster than a speeding bullet. Bing! I can jump over tall buildings. You see the difference there?
Or just go back to the way you were in the Shield when you were
just shut your fucking mouth and beat on people.
Yeah, you know what? It's, I don't know. Maybe Roman Reigns needs a heel run with like a.
He needs a duct tape on his mouth.
Yeah, I don't know, Kevin. I'm not sold on Roman Reigns as a.
I'm not sold on him as a wrestler yet.
Talent.
I'm not even sold as a wrestler yet.
Yeah,
like, he's a hunk. Chicks are gonna dig him. In their own words, they're gonna like him. He looks good. But even the chicks, when he opened his mouth, they're like, "Ooh, no, don't do that."
Yeah, I think
they're like, "Just stay pretty, my friend."
So, okay, so we're disagreeing. We're both agreeing that Lesnar's going to win, but we're both picking different guys to win the Rumble.
Yeah, but I'll just start by the guy I think is going to look strong again and probably beat his 12 or 13 that he did last year, probably 13, 14 elimination. You'll get a Dolph Ziggler because, yes, for sure he's not really fired. Fuck you all for thinking that. He's not fired. He's going to come back. If he was really fired, he should appear on the TNA or on the RH show between now and then. That would be awesome. That doesn't happen. That tells you it's not for real.
Who do you think the Iron Man's going to be this year? Every year they have a guy who goes like 40 minutes in the ring.
I think it's going to be Ziggler.
I think Ziggler's done it once before in 2012.
Like he won Money in the Bank before too, and
yeah,
it's new. People forget it's 4 years ago.
True, Ziggler would be a good choice for that role. I think
Eric Rowan, or the right back. That's possible.
Dean Ambrose, maybe.
Yes, Dean Ambrose could be a very. That's possible, but I see him going into a place that he's more and more unhinged as a fringe lunatic and slowly making his way closer to the heel side. I see that happening because I think I saw him, the way he's acting reacting is getting closer to that part of his character. So I don't know if he's going to be pushed that way in the Rumble himself.
Well, I
Itself.
think we're finally done with the Wyatt angle.
Yes, I think Wyatt is being built back up to be strong, and I don't know for who, but there's only a couple of options that make sense if you hear the rumblings on other podcasts and on Wrestling Observer and those type of radio shows. Well, the whole thing that if Taker comes back, and that's a big if, that they're building back Wyatt for that, but don't you think they would know if Taker comes back by now? It's like not even 2 months away.
Maybe they do. Maybe
It's
they're
even more
just
than
playing
2 months away.
maybe they're just playing their cards close to the vest. You know, it's see Taker coming back to Rumble is all well and good, but don't you feel like I don't want to say it's a waste of time, but don't you feel like it's not as special without the streak?
I think we shouldn't see him because the streak is over. The streak
Yeah.
is over. He should be over. And not over in that sense. Over as in, like, done.
Because I'm hearing that he's going to work Wyatt this year at WrestleMania and then work Sting at next year's WrestleMania, and that's it for both of them.
I don't think... what's the point of doing that? There has no
there isn't
meaning.
a point.
There's no meaning. It's not special. It lost every single meaning possible. If you do that, you just dragged it on for a year and a half for nothing.
Exactly, and because we obviously know Sting and Hunter are going to work.
That's all good and fine.
Yeah, I have no
Sting
problem with
appear
that.
in the Royal Rumble?
Oh,
You kind of have to, because for 30 men,
maybe.
you kind of almost have to.
I don't think he'll be in the Rumble. I don't like. What are you gonna? You're gonna eliminate Sting and then kill all his momentum?
No, maybe he's not in the Rumble, but he comes back out of nowhere. I was gonna say he comes out on the rafter, but you'll never see anybody do that ever again.
Is Triple H a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble and then Sting just comes out and eliminate him?
That's possible.
And because they have to get those two back on like TV again to build off that feud.
Here's
right?
an idea that I just had. Example. Brock retains the championship, and Brock and the Authority don't get along anymore. It's almost close. And if you look at the spoilers from Raw right now, you would see the case. But I won't go further into that because I haven't seen it as well. But example, Lesnar retains and Cena's dead, and the Authority didn't get a chance, and the Authority really wants that title back. There's only one really way. Hunter, go win that Royal Rumble and win it again because you're the game and you'll be over and you win it and you will go get the title at WrestleMania. But I don't think they will ever do that.
Yeah, and let's face it, the only reason they put the Authority back on TV is so they can start building the angle with Sting. I think once that's
Yeah.
over, I don't think we're going to see the Authority much on TV anymore. I think they're going to really go away from all of that.
Hopefully that's the result of Mania. Can
I
you
hope
imagine Brock versus Daniel Bryan? And if Daniel Bryan wins, the Authority are banned for at least a full year.
Yeah, with no one can bring them back. No, and the whole thing was. So where do you think Cena's going? Like, what's Cena's role, Kevin, going into? Like, I know we're kind of talking about the Rumble, but I mean, obviously the Rumble is offsetting WrestleMania, right?
Will he actually be in the actual Royal Rumble doing a double duty on that night?
I don't think so. I think they'll have enough guys to fill a full Rumble spot, and I don't know, like the rumors are Rusev for WrestleMania. But
That would be fine. But if that happens, I believe you need to put Rusev over Cena. Otherwise, you built
Yep.
Rusev for nothing because you just put the same old guy over. If you need to beat Rusev, it needs to be somebody that will benefit from that, and that needs to be either Roman Reigns or a Daniel Bryan or Dolph Ziggler or somebody, Dean Ambrose, somebody in that category.
They don't think about that. They just think about the cash cow that's John Cena, and guess what? That's eventually going to dry up. So you need to
It's
start thinking
always a
about it.
short-term gain versus a long-term bad move.
You know what it is, Kevin?
One same move in your roster or one same booking can be a short-term game, but can be the total downfall of that same storyline in the long run.
It's week-to-week booking, and that's what they do. Back in the Attitude Era,
Did I tell you that the story before? Just quickly. Week to week is because of McMahon that happens, because of Vincent. Stephanie is in charge of the long-term creative aspect of the show, and she always gets overruled from week to week because of her old senile father decides at 3 o'clock on a Monday night that he doesn't like the show.
yeah, it's just stupid. Let them. You know what? Give them a chance. And I used to be a big anti Stephanie McMahon, Paul Levesque person. But I've seen the job Triple H has done in NXT, so that's hard to argue with results there. And
Hey,
maybe
and even
Steph.
if he's not the one actually doing the work for it, he's just the one getting the credit for it. But wait, he hired those people, so
His fingerprints are on it.
exactly one way or another, if the actual one booking it behind the scenes or not, who gives a fuck? He's the one that hired those people, anyways. It's his little baby, and so far so good. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm definitely not complaining. It's easily the best thing about WWE right now is the future for NXT.
Yeah. All right, let's go with now the most important thing of that match of the Royal Rumble. Who actually wins the damn thing? Rob, who do you think's gonna win the Rumble?
Well, I think you and I already discussed it, and my pick will be.
Oh, we didn't make it official.
Yes, my official pick to win the Royal Rumble is Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Very predictable. It's been predictable for months. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm actually thinking they're going to change it, because we all seen last year they planned WrestleMania way ahead of time, like 6 months ahead of time. It was supposed to be Orton and Batista. Guess what? That didn't happen. And I
Well,
believe
yeah.
because of Daniel Bryan coming back, and because of not this Monday night, but last Monday night, because of the pop that Daniel Bryan get compared to the stupid promo that Roman Reigns did. And I think that it actually did shake up their view on how Daniel Bryan, and I think it's take two. Last year, they did the big moment at WrestleMania, but they fucked up. They fumbled the ball after. Part of it is because of his injury. Part of it is because of the fucking stupid booking against Kane. So I believe it's take two. And I believe the way to do it this time is Daniel Bryan winning. And that's my official prediction, by the way. Daniel Bryan winning the Rumble. And like he's going to come out at like 20 to 23rd position. Something similar to that. Not like a huge 20 guy elimination. No, he's not going to stay there for an hour. He's going to be there for a decent amount of time. Find a way to win. And eventually meet Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31 in San Francisco. You want to know why too, Rob?
Why is that?
Which team won the World Series, and
This-
where was he when that happened?
The San Francisco Giants. So you're going with that connection, eh?
He's over in that market big time. That's all blends together in my mind, and I just can't see them going away from that now.
Can we at least agree the fact that the last two guys in the ring at the Royal Rumble will be Reigns and Bryan? Because I think that's
They have to.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll limit that. If he doesn't win, he needs to be at least the last two. But can you imagine? He's over in that crowd, and he can't come back. Guess what? He has a different gear for the Rumble. The colors are almost the same, but closer to a San Francisco Giant color. And he comes out with a San Francisco Giant shirt, and he gets the crowd on that side too. It can be a very good thing because of all those dots can be connected through that moment. You can tell the story of his last year and bring that moment, bring images of him in the parade. And he had a bad year, had a couple of nice spots. There's a story to be told there, in my opinion.
Kevin, I like the sentiment, and I think it's and I agree with you that he does deserve that 6-7 month run with a championship, because he never did get it. So let's say you're right. Let's say that Bryan goes over in the Rumble. He goes over Lesnar. Now what do you do with Roman Reigns? Where does he go?
You build him strong. You know what they did with Rusev? Mm-hmm. But you do it with a face. I know, Rob. Don't tell me. I know it's a very strange concept to figure in your mind, but build a baby face strong by not pinning him. Mm-hmm. And just have him run over and over people and over and just win and destroy and win. And by itself, it will bring him up to that level that you want him to be. If you decided when it's going to happen, it's never going to happen.
Well,
When you let the crowd decide, then you have a better chance, in my opinion, to make that happen.
I guess the interesting thing is whoever wins the Rumble, Bryan or Roman. I'm interested to see who the other one works at WrestleMania, like where they would go with each direction. If Reigns wins, who Bryan would work, and then vice versa.
If Reigns loses, here's what I would do right now. You have Reigns on the Monday after WrestleMania, after he lost his match WrestleMania, or after he lost the Rumble, the Monday after the Rumble. He's out there with a mic. Yes, with a mic. And no stupid thing. He goes and it's from the heart, and he says, I've been knocked down. I said I was going to ring the Rumble. I didn't. I'll make my way up that ladder. I'll climb to the ranking. And by doing this, I'm going to the guy that is the closest to me. And whoever that fucker is, he go destroys him. And after the pay-per-view win, after like a month build, after pay-per-view, then he goes, next, I'm going to the other guy in front of me in the rankings.
Yeah.
And I'll kick his ass.
Yeah, go kind of climb the ladder.
So on and so forth. Rankings work. Rankings are right now in the UFC and all that. Mm-hmm. And they do every week a Power 25 ranking in WWE.
That's true.
Make him alleged to that. Make him say, yes, go to there. I'll make my way up to the ranking. And have him in that ranking slowly make his way up to that ranking ladder. You can make a story that's compelling, easy, doesn't use his weak point as talking, uses a quick, simple type of promo of, I'm here, I want to go there, and I'll do this by going through this guy. And that's it.
Because
and
that would work. That would work because I think no matter who wins the Rumble, and if Bryan or Reigns is the champion after WrestleMania, I think both of those guys will be on a collision course, probably for like SummerSlam-ish. I think you would have to book that match at SummerSlam.
You know why it would work too, Rob? The more we think about it, the more I love that idea, because now people don't like a babyface, don't like a heel. They like a guy that's in those murky waters. Yep. And by going through the ranking, he goes through both heel and faces. And the same way, so he makes him a part on a different category, and he can stand out that way too.
It's he doesn't care, it'd be like that.
Like a boss.
Like with Stone Cold.
Life, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, like when Stone Cold didn't give a fuck if you heel or face. If you pissed him off, you got stunned.
But that guy actually looks good, so it could be different that way. Here, I think we actually should be hired with the booking we're doing right now.
Yeah, well, we have this thing called common sense, and we're fans of the product, which I'm pretty sure their writers probably haven't watched a substantial amount of wrestling.
They probably haven't watched a New Japan Pro Wrestling show. They probably didn't realize what the fuck we did. And you know what? In that show, there's no authority figure.
No,
there wasn't. Did you see it?
I've seen the first little bit. Yeah.
Okay, but there was no authority figure. There was no great, complicated, stupid angle with stupid props or whatever. It's just wrestling done the right way, called as a sporting event, and it has actually worked. And I never watched a New Japan show before, and that show made me a fan. That AJ style match, that Tanahashi match at the end, that Nakamura, Shinsuke Nakamura, King of Strong Style. What a character! Damn! I wish I speak in Japanese or understood Japanese, because the promo that Tanahashi caught at the end on Okada looked so great. I can't wait to actually see it translated somewhere. It was a great show, and that showed me that you don't need all those stupid gimmicks that we see nowadays with the authority figure and putting this guy or putting this guy out of the loop or cutting this guy or firing this guy for this to happen. Just let them fight, and the bitter guy wins and moves on.
But guess what, Kevin? WWE doesn't want that. They don't want that. They don't want wrestling. They want what they have. They want their sports entertainment.
It's not wrestling, Stone Cold. Steve, it's not wrestling. It's sports entertainment.
And you know what? It is. It is. That's what they're producing. But you know what? I think they need to find a mix where they give the stupid kids their dumb John Cena and their stupid Uso masks to buy, and then they give us, people who are in our fucking 30s, wrestling.
You know what I would do, Rob? You know what's really working nowadays with kids of our age or younger? Or I see kids here. See how I think about me? For anybody younger, they love the vintage stuff. You know what I would do if I had the company? I would go back to the old fucking logo. Except the F, but the old logo. Bring back the jobbers. And we see that coming back NXT and with the attention on the main roster. But bring back that style. And it's a cyclical business. You went out from that style of wrestling into sports entertainment, the Attitude Era, coming out to just pure sports entertainment. Why don't you go back to pro wrestling with jobbers and having your baby faces or big heels only face against each other in the pay-per-view or only on the network? That would fucking work, Rob.
Well, I think, and I've been saying this for a while, but they need to...
imagine, okay, there's a program, it's Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose, okay? But they only cut promos against each other. They don't touch before 2-3 months. They just face against a jobber, and the other guy pops out of nowhere. and there's a tension. And we see that with Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin on NXT. They're going to face off this week, but it took months, like 2 months almost now. And there's a build. Those two guys are no fucking nobodies. But with that build and the crowd get into it by counting, they made something out of nothing with just the way that they did not touch each other for months.
Well, that's the way it should be, and that's the way it used to be, obviously, when we were kids. And
so do it as vintage. Vintage is out right now. Bring back that style of wrestling.
And the reason why that worked back then is because there wasn't 8,000 fucking hours of wrestling on TV a week where that you had to fill. They need to get rid of.
What's old is new, and what's new it's old, and that would be very different to the naked eye.
I agree. They need to cut back their programming. They need to get rid of SmackDown.
I love the jobbers that I've seen the last couple of Raws against the Ascension.
Yeah,
no care in the world. They're not even introduced. They're already in the rings. Two lonely guys in very ugly singlet. They get destroyed. That I like.
Yeah, they're obviously building a. I'm sure the Ascension will get a
they
short
suck.
program.
I hate them, but the way they're beating jobbers, I like that.
I think the Ascension will get a short program with like why can't I never think of the name? Ole!
Los Matadores.
Yeah, we'll probably get a program with
maybe
them,
Tyson,
a short program,
and maybe the masters of the WWE universe.
Yeah, but I mean they're on a collision course with the Usos for the tag team titles.
Last prediction for the show, Rob. It's not the Rumble, but it's gonna happen at the Rumble. Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Seth Rollins. Who comes out the winner or with the championship? Because it doesn't have to be the winner to come out of the championship, because somebody in that trio's got a briefcase too.
I don't know, Kevin. And, sometimes a big complaint about us is that wrestling is too predictable. But I really don't know. I think from a business standpoint, the smartest thing to do is have Brock Lesnar come out of the Rumble with the title. But we're talking about WWE business, so something tells me John Cena's going to come out with the title. But at the same time, you have Rollins, who's the wild card. Yeah, the wild card. But okay, so you're not asking me to kind of justify it all. You're asking who I think is going to win. I think they'll make the right decision, and I think Brock Lesnar leaves the Royal Rumble with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
And being 2 weeks and a half, so almost 3 weeks before the Rumble. 3 weeks now officially. I don't know. I'm lost in dates.
I think it's the 25th.
Yeah, so it's 2 weeks. Yeah, being almost 2 full weeks before the Rumble, anything can happen. But right now, I think the way that Lesnar and Rollins don't seem to get along, I think that hints as they will get along on that night, and they will both destroy Cena. And then Rollins will look at Brock and be like, "Okay, I got the briefcase. I'll get another shot eventually. You take that belt back home, and you go on to headline your first WrestleMania." Because Brock Lesnar did, he did headline one where he actually broke his neck.
With the Kurt Angle, the one against Kurt Angle.
That's the only one he actually headlined. And it's a long time ago. It's 12 years ago. So
WrestleMania 19.
I think he's going to headline WrestleMania, and it's going to be Daniel Bryan, but I think he's going to come out with the belt out of Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision to make. 100%.
All right, so that was our prediction show. Let us know about your prediction down the aisle podcast at gmail.com. And get us on Twitter at KevLarame or at RobbieMac28. And until next time, Rob, take that bump.